Stop the violence. Use your talent. Stop the violence. Use your talent, y'all. Stop the violence.
That's right.
Use your talent.
Use them.
Stop the violence.
Yeah.
Use your talent.
From one heart to another, I lost two brothers. I had to brace myself for that devastating news, that senseless act of violence. Thank you for tuning in to Stop the Violence, Use Your Talents TV show. I'm here. This is your host, Jonado. I'm standing alongside my good friend, Sarge Fitness. What's up, Sarge?
Not much, G, man. Good to see you, man.
Definitely. Well, we got a chance to go up to Kentucky,
right.
And Sarge went along also, and we really took part with some community development there. And before we got to the community in Mayfield, Kentucky,
right.
We stopped in Murray, and we was at the university, if I'm not mistaken.
Murray State University.
That's right. So tell the people what went on there, Sarge.
Well, we had a great time at Murray State University. I definitely want to give a shout out to my man SG and everyone at the Fine Arts Center at Murray State there in Murray, Kentucky. Great high learning institute. And we had a chance to interview with one of the top radio hosts in the state of Kentucky, and he found out a lot about Duval County and Jacksonville and our presence also out in Kentucky and Paducah and Mayfield and the Murray State area, and just had some dialogue and discussion about some very important topics dealing with the community, the youth, and stopping the violence and using all your talent.
That's right, we sure did. So I want you guys to stay tuned, check out the interview. I actually switch it up and interview SG from the radio station, and there's going to be some more things. This is going to be a 3-part series that we're doing, and it's Duval County and also Graves County where we was at. So it's like from Duval to Graves is what I call it.
Right.
Hello, I'm MT Cartel with Murray State University, Soul Flight, WKMS 91.3, and we're getting ready to have a great interview with my man. Let me get the name right here. Jonado, right? Stop the Violence. Going up the elevator right now, they're going to the studio. We're very fortunate to have a young man here with us called Jonado, and he goes by G, and he's going to be in Mayfield. He's a gospel hip-hop artist, and we're very glad to have him in the studio. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, just wonderful.
How y'all doing today out there?
All right, and just for the folks out there that are listening, if you could just give them a little taste of who you are and what you do, and we've talked a little bit. You got a lot going on. So
that's right. Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me to come and be on the show and partake in what's going on here in Mayfield and surrounding areas. What I'm doing, I'm being useful, not giving in. And I am the CEO of Bungie. That's the name of my entertainment business corporation. And I'm also an artist, not just a hip-hop artist, but I'm a spoken word artist, I'm a world artist, I do reggae also. So being useful, not giving in, one of the things I'm not giving into is the violence that's plaguing our communities worldwide. And I've lost a few relatives in my family as well as in my business because they were my business partners, and they were murdered. First cousin that was murdered in 2002, and then my brother was kidnapped, tortured, and murdered in 2004 in Jacksonville, Florida. Duval, a lot of people know, we were at Duval, however, I have a national movement, Stop the Violence, Use Your Talents. A lot of people may have seen me on my television show that we do production for. I do a lot of filming and editing, and we have a show that comes on in Florida as well as Jamaica, and soon up in Atlanta and over in LA and New York. So we're working to get national distribution for the television show now. It's Stop the Violence, Use Your Talents TV show. And I have a hit single, Stop the Violence, too.
All right, and hopefully we'll get that up here in Murray State as well on Channel 11.
That's right. I'm working on it right now. I don't hesitate. You know, I'm Mr. Persistence also. My first album I did was entitled Persistence. So if those out there that are listening, you know, you can do a search on me. It's Gernado. That's spelled Gernado. All my music is on iTunes, Rhapsody, Listen.com, wherever you can find it. Go into your music stores. I'm in the databases. If they don't have it on the shelf, then, you know, have them order it, or you can just download it for 99-cent, ringtone, all of that.
Wonderful. Now, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing tomorrow. Some of the folks will hear this. You may hear this tonight, and you may hear it again. We're going to re-air this interview because we definitely want folks to hear what's going on and how they can get involved in your Stop the Violence movement. So what are you going to be doing tomorrow specifically in Mayfield?
Tomorrow I'm partnering up with the NAACP, and Mr. Ralph Purdy got in contact with me because they were doing some things for the youth and young adults within the area. So I'm going to be coming out and just doing some mentoring and morale building and basically storytelling, sharing my story and where I come from and the things that God has allowed me to partake in to be able to shine my light so that His will is done through me. I'm just a vessel that's being used, so all I can do is just share my story, and hopefully, you know, those youth will be inspired to go to the next level or be encouraged to tap into their talents, their God-given gifts, you know, to go to the next level.
That's good news right there. Now, also, I'd like to ask you a question about, you talked about having a production company and having some other artists and television. You want to just expound a little bit more about the different things that you're doing, because just you guys couldn't see it, but we had a reversal of roles a little earlier, and he was a producer. We did a little bit in the studio and outside, and he interviewed me, so now I get the chance to turn the tables on him. He's a very, very talented man here, and so I just want to talk a little bit more in depth about the different aspects of what you're doing in your business.
Well, I am a producer, and God has given me the ability to use my talents and tap into different arenas, from being a writer, being a producer of this television show. I film, I edit, and I create the show, television show that comes on. And those are just, you know, some of the hats that I wear, but also managing a entertainment label and managing artists and booking gigs or you know, going back to writing the songs to just wearing different hats and jumping, being able to balance yourself and use your talents. Those are some of the things that I do. I'm a multi-talented type person, you know, where you just see me, you're going to the radio station to do an interview, and I'm like, okay, hold on, let's do it. Let me get an interview with you for the TV show right quick. So you see me, you know, jump into, you know, producer mode.
Stop the violence.
Here we go.
Use your talent.
Help somebody.
S.T. Cartel with Murray State University. I'm the Director of African American Student Services, Teaching and Journalism Department, and also the producer and host for Stvuyt radio show, WKMS 91.3.
That's it. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference.
Stop the violence.
Here we go.
Use your talent.
Help somebody.
I can say yes, I've had a number of folks in my family, from cousins, a very close cousin of mine when I was a kid got killed, shot, and another one got stabbed, dealing with my own son that is dealing with judicial system. So this violence, the issues that are affecting not only the kids that are out there in the street, but the kids that come from good homes that we perceive to be good homes. It's, you know, this entire generation is a generation of folks that need help and students that need help, and we've got to get out there and help them. So I guess I could say been fortunate and unfortunate enough to have had those types of experiences in my life, but I think it's God's way of making me better and giving me an opportunity to take those experiences and help others with it. Well, how do we affect youth today, and how am I using my talents? Well, one of the ways is by trying to be multifaceted and trying to touch students in different ways. It's more than just the academics, it's the social, it's the co-curricular, as being able to work with them on their level where they're at, and also show them there's light at the end of the tunnel and that there's a positive way to do things and a positive way to make things happen if they put in the hard work, connect with their spirituality, connect with their family, connect with the support they have for them, and try to live by some example, because no one's perfect, but try to live by an example to show them that the work that I've done through my academics and things of that nature have been beneficial, and finally by giving back whenever possible. This is SG with Murray State University, WKMS Soul Flight. Stop the violence, use your talents.
Hi, I'm Mayor John Payton, and you're watching Stop the Violence, Use Your Talents.
Now, we hear a lot about folks that are, wanting to be producers and trying to get involved in this type of work. And as someone who's doing it and being successful, what would you tell those folks that are out there listening that, they have a computer, they may have a camera, and they think, well, hey, I want to be a producer. They got some ideas. What advice would you give those folks that are looking to do the type of work that you do?
Well, first of all, I would say anything that you set your mind to do, you can do it. And don't get discouraged because of what the people may say that are around you. You have to find the will within and go forth in what you're skilled to do. And in doing that, then you will tap into the destiny that God has placed over your life. I mean, just for an example, 2 years ago, I wasn't a TV show producer, but I've produced over 15 shows now within 14 months, and I've interviewed so many different people that God has put in my path, from, Yolanda King, Martin Luther King III. God bless Yolanda King, because, she's a major endorser of what I'm doing. And before she passed, she sent me a letter and, endorsing what I'm doing with helping the youth, because it's about the youth and being able to change the cycle of what's going on in our society and give something positive back. And, your Magic Johnson, your Cornel West, your football stars, your celebrities, we name it, the mayors of the city. I mean, the mayor of Mayfield, thanks go out to him, because he partnered up with the NAACP
Wonderful.
to bring me here.
Great.
So, he'll be another person that produce. So I just say, back to your question, if it's in your mind to do it and you want to be a producer, and, you have the tenacity, you have to have tenacity and be persistent. And if you can do that, then you can be useful and not give in and accomplish your goals.
You already know what it is, man. Q45 BET Rap City. Right now, you're watching Stop the Violence, Use Your Talents. It's that simple. Pay attention to this, learn from this, and use this. It's that simple, man. Watch the TV show. Entertainment.
Wonderful. I'm looking at the CD here and the different versions that you have on here, but what kind of prompted the Stop the Violence, the whole movement? I know you talked about the personal tragedies that
Right.
you've had, and a lot of us have had those types of tragedies
Right.
in our lives and family members, and it looks like you're taking some action and doing something about it.
Right.
So if you could kind of talk a little bit about how this manifested itself, because it seems like, from me listening to you,
Right.
that you would be doing the production and all that stuff anyway.
Right.
So you'd be doing a lot of this stuff anyway, but this has given you a different focus, at least for a season now,
Yes.
to do a lot of good. And so I just want to talk a little bit about how you decided to take your talents and a lot of the things that you're doing
Right.
already with your production company and all those things, and how did that come out of this?
Well, it came out, I started doing my first album, Persistence, back in 2002-03. My brother was incarcerated at the time, and Persistence album came out in 03-04 and marketed it, and I work with a producer out in California, gospel reggae producer Mark Moore of Christafari. He's one of the first leading gospel reggae producers. So what happened was when my cousin was murdered, my brother was murdered, you know, I was already doing positive music and inspiring music, you know, titles like, you know, Family Time, Independence, Be Blessed, you know, With God. You know, these are just some of the titles of some of the songs that I've done. And when all these things were occurring and my brother was murdered and I seen so many things going on, I flew out west to work on my second album, and there was a track that I was going to do a remix for, and God laid on my heart and said, you know, this is what I want you to do. And he gave me the song in an instant, and I wrote it right there, and we went into the studio to record the song Stop the Violence. And if you listen to the words to the song, it tells a story of how it all comes about. And doing that, it gives me, it encourages me and gives others a sense of encouragement that may be going through something to, you know, use their talents and do something positive with their life.
That's wonderful. As I was listening to the music and kind of bobbing my head to it and listening to the words, I think the words begin to reach out to you, I think, and you can begin to hear over and over again that you need to do something positive with yourself.
That's right.
This recent climate with hip-hop and, you know, Don Imus, and then the attention on artists, and as a hip-hop artist, this wouldn't be a good interview if I didn't end it out with getting your take on this whole scenario, the responsibility of hip-hop artists, and what is your take on how you think they should be handling themselves now since the Imus situation has come about?
Well, I mean, the situation has always been there from day one. You know, let's just, you know, we can learn from our history. Let's just go back to when, you know, Tupac, one of the, you know, quote unquote major hip hop artists, or your NWAs were doing music. When they first came on the scene, they were doing more conscious music and, you know, music to bring about something positive or an outlook on society and what they were going through at the time. And then it shifted and changed because of the money situation and because of what's going on in the communities. What's a lot of artists talk about is their living condition. There are some out there that talk about things that they may have not been through, but I can only attest to, you know, some of the things that I've been through that, you know, I could go on record to saying, but will that help my youth?
Right.
You know, so we have to just watch the seeds that we put out and be responsible adults and leaders, you know, for our communities. And I always stress that because I have a lot of hip-hop artists on my label, as well as friends in, you know, the music business that have made it and fell off. Or, you know, I was just with Curtis Blow recently. Okay. You know, he's one of the pioneers of hip-hop music, one of the first guys. I mean, you got your Run DMC's, LL Cool J. It was Curtis Blow right there. So, I mean, you know, hanging around him and being able to partake, you know, I learned that, you know, it's the individual. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they want to get paid, they want to get their check, but you got to remember, when you look back 10 years from now, 15 years from now, what good have you caused for society? You know, one of the things Martin Luther King III says, and I did a public service announcement on it, was be ashamed to die if you have not done something to change the effects of your community in a positive way. Be ashamed to die, because God put us here for a reason, to shine our light. So we got to shine our light and continue to keep moving and be prosperous.
Entertainment. Stop the violence.
Here we go.
Use your talent.
Help somebody.
This is SG, Murray State University, WKMS. Stop the violence and use your talent.
Hopefully you all enjoy the interview, and it's very informative, and it was very enlightening to me to be able to turn the tables and interview SG, and also do an interview and spend some time with Sarge, and also Gambino Slim, hot recording artist, has a single that's on radio right now, doing fine. It's Bungie Entertainment recording artist. What's up, Gambino?
How you doing, G?
All right. We know you being useful, not giving in, and my man Sarge still here, and he was there with us also in Kentucky, and with us actually in Duval. And I want you guys to just kind of talk about some of the things that you all encountered when you was in Kentucky with the people in the community, as well as some of the other things that we did in the nightlife.
Well, I can say that regardless of where you may live, I've known, but I also see firsthand the impact of the rural areas versus living in a larger city environment, and the needs that they face in rural areas are the same needs that we face in the inner city, whether it's stop the violence, whether it's social or financial, whether it's health and fitness issues, or whether it's just bridging the cultural gap between races. So I've learned that we're not only facing problems here in Jacksonville, but there are problems in other areas, and we can work collectively, all races, all sides, to come together for the benefit of the youth, but not only that, to promote life. And that's why Sarge Fitness is teamed up with Bungie Entertainment to Stop the Violence, Use Your Talents, because we need to promote life and hope, and I saw that in Kentucky.
That's right. And what's up, Gambino? I mean, you really saw the night like we released your single, and it was a lot of people that really showed the support, and it was from different cultures.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a positive, outlook, especially for hip hop, especially for coming out of Duval. You know what I'm saying? People all over the outer regions, they got a lot of love for Florida cats. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And they showed a lot of support when we was down there. I loved it in Kentucky, you know what I'm saying? The people act like we was family. So, we gave them some good music, and we gave them some good exposure for Florida and Duval. So we represented real hard, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, we surely did. We got a lot of footage. So as I stated earlier in the show, that this is a 3-part series from Duval to Graves County. So hey, check it out, and be useful and never give in. Stop the violence and use your talents.
Bungie Entertainment.
Yo, this your boy Gambino Slim, straight out of Duval, you know what I'm saying? I'm up here in the Midwest. We in Mayfield, Kentucky. We're gonna do some positive for the people here. We got my man Sarge here, got Gennaro here, CEO of Bungie Entertainment. This is gonna be a new year for Bungie. We're gonna do a real big, and I'm gonna represent that genre real hard in Duval. 904 all the way, baby.
Bungie Entertainment.
Right here, Mr. Johnson, aka Pop. Bungie Pop, alright? He ain't used to not giving in. Worldwide, international, all the way from the blue. That's right, we in the Midwest. Know that.
Bungie Entertainment.
Gambino Slim here once again, you know what I'm saying? We still here in Kentucky. Want to introduce my dad. Pop, why don't you go and tell him a little bit about yourself? He's from the St. Louis area.
Well, I'm Pop Johnson. I'm Gambino Slim's dad, veteran of music myself. I believe that he has a good song, and I think that it's gonna pop real hard, So Gambino is coming quick, he's coming fast, and right away at you. So be looking out for him.
Oh,
be
Pop,
looking out for Bungie.
why don't you tell everybody out there in TV land, tell them a little bit about your music history, how you started, and who you affiliated with.
I've been playing music for at least 30 years, and we had a contract offer with Sun Records in Memphis, but because of political issues, it didn't come through. But overall, I've enjoyed the actual personal success as being a musician. And now that my son is into music and a rapper himself, I want to give all that I got to him so that he can make things better.
All right, there you go. Y'all heard it first, you know what I'm saying? From the man from the St. Louis area all the way down to 904 Cat. You know what I'm saying? Gambino Slim here. It's going to be a good year for Bungie. We're planning on expanding, and we're going to make some big things, good things, positive things come to Jacksonville. And we want to steal the show, and we want to let these boys know how we're going to do it.
Bungie Entertainment. Bungie Entertainment.
All right, you too.
Getting ready to leave, man. Going back towards the loot area for a minute. You know, it's part of my little vacation, you know, before things start moving real fast. You know, we kind of tested out the single yesterday, and it was all cool, it was gravy. You know, it wasn't Florida, but it was all right, you know what I'm saying? But I'm really looking forward to going back to Duval and repping 904 and do what we do down there. You know, Bunch Entertainment, we've grown a lot, you know what I'm saying? We've taken a lot of losses, and it's time to start winning a little bit more than what we was doing, man. But right now, I'm getting ready to get on the road. I'm gonna drive on this one, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna fly, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to take the scenic route, you know what I'm saying? And kind of get my thoughts together and get some more rest before we start moving. But anyway, let's get Bino Slim. I'm signing off, man.
Palinji Entertainment. Palinji Entertainment.
This is Nelly Pierre Pata.
This is Edric Pata.
Jeanette Pata.
Edwin Pata.
Ronette Pata. My son was murdered November 7, 2006. He had a big impact in our life.
Senseless act of murder.
He was shot.
Can't comprehend it, can't understand it. Somebody shooting him to death.
Stop the violence.
Use your talent. The violence put you in a grave, you know. Stop it, please.
Stop the violence. Use your talent.
We do have to learn in this nation.
By embracing Martin Luther King Jr. and what he stood for.
Be ashamed to die until you've tried to do something to make your community better.
Hey, we're students representing UNF telling everybody to stop the violence and use your talents.
Somehow, somewhere.
Yo, this bigger ranking, man. Cool runnings. Stop the violence, use your talent, man. It's going down. This is a real movement, man. Get with it, man, all right?
We will continue to get there.
Be ashamed to die.
Stop the violence. Use your talent. Winners never stop. Winners keep going continuously. Are you feeling me? A positive mental attitude, sound physical health, put you in the right mood. Oh yeah. Harmony in human relations, freedom from fear, cause God made creation. What a sensation, hope for future achievements. It's time somebody start believing and receiving. Stop the violence. Use your talent. Oh, listen up now. Stop the violence.